Welcome to Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by FantasyGuru.com. Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Ray Flowers breaks it all down for you from a fantasy sports perspective. Hey everyone, Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. You know when you have one of those days where it seems like everything is going to go smoothly, everything's going to go slow, everything's going to go according to plan and all that kind of stuff? Whoops! This morning's been a wild one. We've had all kinds of tech issues here. I think we're good to go here for the show. Hopefully you're all enjoying what you see here, what you view here, what you listen to here. If not, let me know. I'm Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. Thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it. 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I'm normally here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. This week, I'm obviously here on a different day. Why? The reason is because I wasn't here yesterday. Had some things going on, so Justin Fensterman stepped up and hosted the show yesterday. Obviously, I am here with you today. Normally, I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday on Fantasy Sports Daily. I'm still going to be on with Jeff Mans today, so don't worry about that. I will be on with Jeff later today at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so 2 to 5 Eastern. The Elite Sports Show on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio with Jeff Mans is Monday through Friday. I'm with him every Wednesday, so I'm there with him. So you got 4 hours of me today, if you care. Welcome to the show. Follow me at Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, all of those places at the Ray Flowers. Hope everyone's doing well. Everyone doing well out there? Yeah, hopefully you're having a better morning than me. My morning's not been bad, no drama or anything like that. Just a lot of things going on here. Chris D says, what an exciting All-Star game. They should all end in ties to have the swing off. We will talk about that in a second, Chris, and I have a completely different point of view. But a lot of people do like it. I'm sure it's here to stay after the Kyle Schwarber fireworks last night for the National League. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. In fact, we'll talk about a lot of things here today and throwing up on the screen what we are going to talk about today. We'll talk about that drafters deal. I don't know if it's still available. We'll talk about it one last time here. Hopefully you get a chance to sneak in there and get that discount. We'll talk a little bit about that All-Star game that was just brought up by Chris. We'll talk about some of the articles that I've got posted over at FantasyGuru.com. Infielders to target in the second half, outfielders to target in the second half, pitchers to target in the second half. So a series of 3 articles. The pitcher one just went up this morning. Also got an article, a discussion point we're going to have with Blake Snell and Shane Bieber here in a few minutes. And then we're going to spend a lot of time reviewing my 2025 FSGA 14-team football draft. So we'll talk all about that. I got the way the team turned out. We'll talk about the setup and all that kind of stuff. So we'll review that team. Normally I write an article. I thought, what the hell? Since I'm writing solo today on the show, why not go for it and share that information with you? So we'll do that in a few minutes. Okay. I teased it at the start here. Let's see if I can find the information. Here it is. One last time, drafters.com. Again, I'm not positive the discounts still work today. I think it might have run out, but give it a shot anyway. If you've already signed up with drafters.com to play in their premium best ball tournament, use the promo code Elite Reload. So you get a 20% reload bonus if you use the promo code Elite Reload. If you've never signed up with drafters.com and you're saying, I'd love to sign up for drafters.com, Ray, what can I do here? Well, you go to drafters.com/refer/elite. Drafters.com/refer/elite. You go to that website, you get signed up there, you get a 100% deposit bonus match up to $500. So you put $300 in there, they'll give you $300 deposit match. I mean, it's a great offer there. So if you've never signed up, again, that promo code is drafters.com/refer/elite. Now, if you say to yourself, yeah, I'd love to sign up, or I just did sign up, or I'm going to sign up in 15 minutes. Great. How do I have success doing this, Ray? Well, we got you covered there too. Over at FantasyGuru.com, our draft guide is available right now. It's a full season package. You sign up now, you get all the coverage from now through the end of the season. So you get all of it. Sign up now, get involved, get ahead of the game. Don't wait until 3 days before your draft to sign up and then try to figure everything out. Get access to the Discord rooms. You get access to the rankings, the articles, the podcast series that just started over at FantasyGuru.com. There's 20 of those podcasts. I think I'm doing 4 of them. So a whole series there, the live stream, all that kind of stuff. So go to FantasyGuru.com, click that subscribe tab in the top right corner of the page. When you get signed up there, you can go down and scroll through the homepage for the draft guide, and you'll find a section on best ball written by Tyler Beaker. And there's overarching general thoughts on best ball, how to handle it, what to do, what not to do. There are also specific articles geared directly for the drafters.com tournament. So there's drafters.com rankings and an article talking about this actual tournament. So get signed up with drafters.com. Go over to fantasyguru.com, read Tyler Beaker's work, and allow him to help you to have success in that tournament this season. All right. So let's talk about the MLB All-Star Game. Years ago, back in Milwaukee, right, there was the tie game. They ran out of pitchers. It was 13-inning affair, I think. They ran out of pitchers, and in the end, they had a tie. And that's terrible. I know that, Chris, you mentioned that you thought it was an exciting All-Star game. A lot of other people are sharing that same sentiment. To me, and again, maybe I'm just the wrong let's be honest. I'm no longer the target audience for Major League Baseball. Okay, I'm a traditionalist. I'm an older fella, I guess, according to them. This is not what I want to see in an All-Star game. Look at this. 1, 2. I'm going to count. We're going to count together. How many pitchers pitched for the American League yesterday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They used 11 pitchers to cover 9 innings. The National League used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 pitchers to cover 10 innings. They ran out of pitching. There's a new rule in place that if there's a tie game, you go to a swing-off. The swing-off ended victorious for the National League, as I mentioned earlier. Kyle Schwarber with 3 home runs on the 3 swings. Hey, man, again, it's an exhibition. Thank goodness they removed the whoever wins this gets home field advantage in the World Series thing, which is so stupid. Thank goodness they removed that, and it's just, hey, it's an exhibition again. So take it for what it's worth. I don't enjoy stuff like this. I've said it many times. I like to watch a baseball game. I remember when I was a kid, and the starting pitcher would go at least 3 innings. That was the minimum. Sometimes they go 5. The guys that were in the starting lineup would often, get 2, 3 at bats before they pulled them out of the game. There you go. That's me. Kyle says it was fun to watch. And again, let's be honest about this. I must just not be the target audience anymore, because to me, this is stupid. But as we're seeing here, you all enjoy it. So Major League Baseball is doing something right when it comes to this. And I think this is also, an admission that, they're trying to grow the game, and they don't think, rightly or wrongly, and maybe rightly, given how everything has gone the last few years, they're thinking that the game itself doesn't work the way it's set up for the modern age. Let's talk about changing. The pitch clock is a huge example of something that, hey, the game's too slow for the average person. So there we are. This is what Major League Baseball is doing. At least it did come down to that tie game late, and Kyle Schwarber and the whole. That's it. So it was a flying finish. Again, we had the home run derby the day before. So Jeff Passan wrote a nice article over at ESPN talking about how, in essence, this is like the soccer with the shootout, which is true. But in soccer, they play overtime before they go to the shootout. So it's not really the same thing. But anyway, people, obviously, you guys all enjoy it. Wow, Angela says his brother almost got hit with an Alonso home run. Well, glad your brother was okay. He should have caught that ball. Stick that arm out, grab that and hedge. Glad he's okay, Angela. But obviously, it was a successful night. Players got out there. They got active. During the game, Alonso hit that home run. Carroll hit a home run. Rooker hit a home run. Both Rooker and Alonso hit 3-run home runs. It was a nice game. And again, it ended in a way that a lot of people, including obviously those of you watching the show here, enjoyed. So more power to y'all. I like it. And trying to figure this out here. Let's see this overlay. See if I could do this real quickly. No, that's not it. Let's get rid of this. There we go, huh? There's a new background here. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. How about some waves? No, this one. Let's go this one. Everything's a little bit of a different color scheme here today. We had obviously an update last night. I'm just adjusting it now. An update last night with the color. There we go. Let's go back to our normal there. I don't know if that's better or not, but that's the color we normally use. I'm trying to throw everything up here, just realizing that they removed some of our logos, media. Throw the banner back up in the corner. Let's see here. We had an overlay that's now gone. I'll try to figure this stuff out later. But anyway, that's basically what we were looking at before. So anyway, hopefully all of you enjoyed the game. Angela said, I was happy the game was on free TV. Yeah, right? That's nice. With all the options. Do you have Apple TV? We do, but not everyone does. So anyway, glad the game went well. And again, I'm glad that it reached. Bottom line is, I could be an old fuddy-duddy and not like it. If everyone else likes it and it grows the game and it increases the interest in the game, I'm all for it. So there you go. Love that. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the articles. Again, there's 3 articles up over at fantasyguru.com. There'll be a 4th article tomorrow, a mystery article. Haven't written it yet. So we'll see how that goes. Let me take a sip of water here. 3 articles up right now. Players to target in the infield, the outfield, and on the hill. And I thought I'd talk about 3 players in particular just to kind of wet your beaks. Remember, you can go to fantasyguru.com, click that subscribe tab in the top right corner of the page. Get signed up for the baseball product for the second half of the season. You get signed up for baseball, you get everything we do. Every article, every chat room, seasonal, DFS wagering, all 3 of the pieces are now one. So all the baseball stuff the rest of the way. If your seasonal team stinks and you want to still stay involved with DFS and wagering, we got you covered. If you need some help down the stretch, making some power moves to help you in the fantasy space in any of the 3 formats, seasonal, DFS, or wagering, we got you covered over at fantasyguru.com. So in the infield pace, here's one of the guys that was written about. And this article is not written. These guys are all on the waiver wire. Add them. No, some of the players might be on the waiver wire. Depends on your league and your setup and all that. Some of the players might already be on someone else's roster. Maybe you want to make a trade to add them. Some of the players might be on your roster, and that means you should hold on to them. So hopefully the intent of the article is fair and understood. Colt Keith of the Tigers is somebody that I threw in the in the infield article. And, we know he's got a good approach to the plate and all that. His on-base percentage is up to 346, which is a really good number in modern-day baseball. But more intriguing than that, he's the last month had an WOBA of 395. He's hitting over 300 with a 375 on-base percentage and a 558 slugging percentage last month. That's superstar level production. That's not good. That's not even all-star level. That's MVP level production. And if you look in the last 23 games he's played in that month's time, he's hit leadoff for the Tigers 18 times. Is he going to hit 300 the rest of the way? No. Is he going to slug 550 the rest of the way? No. Could he get on base at a 375 clip? Maybe. And even if it's just at 350, if he continues to bat leadoff in front of guys like Carpenter and Green and all the other bashers they've got with the Tigers. So Colt Keith absolutely is somebody that could be on waiver wires. All depends on your league size and your style. But Colt Keith is in a really nice groove right now. And that leadoff spot, as we talk about all the time, is extremely important. And he's got it right now for the Tigers. In the outfield, here's a guy that's probably on waivers in every league for everyone that's listening. So this is the deep dive guy. Nathan Lukes. May not even know what team he's on. He's an outfielder for the Blue Jays. He's not a guy that's going to drive the baseball at all, but much like Colt Keith, he can get on base. He's also going to run. He only got like 2 steals. So he's a limited player, Lukes. So why bring him up? Well, he's got a 371 on base percentage in 121 career games. 371. It's a really good mark. This year, he's got a 364 mark. He's also hitting 276. So a solid 270 batting average for his career. It's early. It's 121 games. 276 career, 276 this year. 371 on base percentage career, 364 this year. Last 9 times he's been on the field that he's made a start, I should say, because there's a pinch hitting effort in there. The last 9 times he started, Nathan Lukes has hit leadoff 6 times. So he's basically locked into batting leadoff against right-handed pitching. And now when you're hitting leadoff for any team, obviously great news. When you're in front of Bichette, when you're in front of Guerrero, when you've got guys like Varsho and Santander potentially coming back, you've got Springer doing his thing. Barger, who we've talked about previously on the show many times. But Nathan Lukes, again, not sexy, not a power guy, not a speed guy, so there are limitations here. But for those of you in points leagues, for those of you in on-base percentage leagues, he might already be scooped up because he's done a very good job. And again, batting leadoff most of the time right now for the Blue Jays. On the pitching article that was released today, Dylan Cease is one of the names is in there. And he's obviously an example of a guy that's already owned. I think we even talked about it here on the show. I've been asked, 4 to 6 times over the last couple of weeks by folks, should they drop Dylan Cease? And my answer is always no. I'm sure there's scenarios where the answer might be yes. Maybe you're in an 8-team league and you have 5 pitchers and they're all active. Hypothetically, I don't know. Would I still look at him as a top 40 starting pitcher? I would. I'm going to sneeze here. Give me a moment. Woo! Look at the sun, right? I can't see the sun. Let's say, why don't we move on from Cease? 2 things in particular. Number 1, durability, and number 2, strikeouts. Okay? He's thrown 175 innings 3 years in a row, and obviously he's on pace to do that for a 4th consecutive year. 175 is not a big number, but in modern day baseball, it's a big number. So he's as stable and durable in the innings pitch workload column as any pitcher in baseball. Secondly, he's on pace for a 5th year in a row with a K per 9 of 10.7 or higher. He's actually had at least 210 strikeouts in each of the last 4 seasons, and he's on pace to do it a 5th straight year this season. So as many innings and strikeouts as virtually anyone in baseball. He's as consistently a high-level producer in those 2 categories as anyone in baseball. He's got a 3.31 strikeout to walk ratio, which is better than the mark of 3.0 he's had the last 3 years when he's had all this success. So he's doing a pretty good job there too. He's got an elevated home run mark. His career mark is about 1.1. It's about 1.3 right now. And I think a lot of that has to do with a 5-year high in the home run to fly ball ratio. We know these things tend to normalize over the course of time. I think it's very likely that his home run pace slows in the second half. You look at XFIP, which basically normalizes that home run rate, says, look, his mark this year should be 3.43 in that column. Last year it was 3.44. So there's a lot of similarities between what we saw last year and what we've seen this year from Snell, or excuse me, from Cease. I'll talk about Snell in a second. From Cease, a little bit of unfairness or a little bit of unevenness, a little bit of bad luck. I hate using luck, but a little bit of things that probably tilt in his favor in the second half. And that durability, those strikeouts, and obviously Petco Park, which is a really good place to pitch too. All of those factors are why I would suggest holding on to Dylan Cease, adding Dylan Cease, making a low ball trade offer for Dylan Cease, looking at him to be part of your team in the second half. So those are the 3 articles up over at FG. Each of them has got, I don't know, 10, 15 names in them, something like that. I didn't count. Infield, outfield, and pitching. And tomorrow we'll figure out something cool to write about. I haven't figured that out yet. A couple of pitchers before we talk some football. Blake Snell recorded 7 strikeouts over 3 innings in a minor league rehab start yesterday. Really good news, obviously. Now, he's been out with the shoulder issue since April. This was supposed to be a very minor thing. Then it was supposed to be a little bit more of a thing. And it's become a thing. He's missed half the season almost. I mean, this is, I'm not saying we were misled here, but, they slow played this an awful lot with Blake Snell. The good news, though, is he's getting closer to moving in the right direction. He was at the Arizona rookie complex. So, was that even a real game yet? Yeah. So he's probably going to need, let's say, 2 or 3 minor league starts, and that's if they aggressively fast track him. So he's still looking like somebody who's in August. Like he's not going to be back in July. Unless they go bonkers here, which they're not. It's the Dodgers. They have 412 pitchers anyway. So look for Blake Snell to return at some point in the month of August. We'll continue to update him and reassess and all that as we get closer to his actual return point. Shane Bieber, coming back from the elbow surgery. He had that setback. There was a lot of concern. Now he's moving again in the right direction. He threw 2 scoreless innings at the rookie level Arizona Complex League, just like Snell. He threw 2 innings with 5 shutout effort, 5 strikeouts and 2 scoreless innings. How about I say that again? So that's really nice. Now, again, Blake Snell and Shane Bieber should be dominating rookies. That's minor league kids. They should be able to do that. But that's really nice to see him out there in his first game action since last month when he had that setback. Much like Snell, there's virtually no chance, if we're just being honest, that Bieber's back in July, so we're into August. What day is July? Yeah, 15th? Yeah, no way. So maybe August 15th or something like that. Both Snell and Bieber are back out on the hill. We'll see. We'll continue to track it because, in the case of Snell in particular, he was, last year we saw a dominant run from him. Bieber, it's been a few years since he was dominant. Last couple years out there, he's been pretty average. And, the hope is obviously that he'll get some of the velocity back that he lost. Still able to locate his pitches. That's always his MO, but the lack of velocity really started to eat into his strikeouts and made him a more, hittable pitcher. Last thing that comes back when you have elbow surgery often is control. That's been the name of the game for Bieber, so that's something to think about. And we'll continue to monitor him in the hopes, I know that some of you have, getting some performance down the stretch from him. Let's see here. John Gray of the Rangers allowed 1 run over 3 innings as he also pitched in that minor league rookie complex in Arizona. He allowed 1 run over 3 innings of work. Probably going to go out and get a couple of other starts in the minor leagues, just like the other 2 guys coming back from the fractured wrist. Gray is probably 3-4 weeks away from a return to the big league level as well. There was some talk and thought about him closing. That they apparently have moved on from that. At this point in time, they're fully planning on John Gray to re-enter the starting rotation for the Rangers, which they need. Gray is somebody that becomes a streaming option. For me, of these three guys, he's the least intriguing. Obviously, Snell's number 1, Bieber 2, Gray 3. But the Rangers, more so probably than us in the fantasy space, really would benefit from John Gray going out there and giving them 5 1/3 innings, a 3-run ball every 5 games. So we'll continue to monitor that as well. Okay, so there we go there. What are we going to do next? We're going to talk about the FSGA Fantasy Football Draft. Let's see here. Let me make that. Breaks down. There we go. I'm sending out a tweet so people can know what we're doing here. All right. We're going to talk about the FSGA draft that was held on Monday night over on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. So if you have access there, you can look in the folder there and get the entire broadcast. The draft was a 14-team fantasy football draft PPR setup. The following starting lineup. Let me just throw it up here on the screen as we talk. I'll make myself a little bit smaller. You'll see my team here and all that kind of stuff. By the way, let me throw that up on the screen too. We'll get rid of the banner. Here is the actual link for those of you watching. You can find the link below if you're on Twitter X, if you're at fantasyguru.com by clicking the Elite Plus tab at the top of the page. You can find access there. If you're typed in Fantasy Sports Daily, your podcast network, look in the description below. You'll be able to find the link rtsports.com/FSGA-champions. Now, the FSGAs, they have like 10 fantasy football drafts. I don't know how many they have. Champions League draft, for what it's worth, is the top level one. It's the one I've been in for years. 14-team mixed league again. As you can see there on the screen at the top, I had the number 2 pick in this draft. We'll go through my team here in a few moments. The starters in this league, there are 10 of them, and that is the standard in the industry. The lineup we use is the league standard, is the industry standard. It's been the industry standard for decades. I know a lot of you are going to see this and be like, that's not. It's been the standard in the industry for 40 years, 30 years, at least 30 years. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a kicker, a defense. I brought up, and hopefully this will be the change made next year, to remove kicker and defense and go to extra flex spots. We'll see. But right now, this is as traditional a setup as you can get. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, tight end, kicker, flex, defense. Boom, there you go. Okay. So there's my team. You can see it, and we'll go through it here. I was hoping that Jamar Chase would fall to number 2. He didn't. So I had the decision to make. And this is knowing your league and how these things go in terms of draft. Do I think that Bijan Robinson or Justin Jefferson would be the number 2 pick? I think it's pretty much a toss-up. I almost took Bijan Robinson because I figured this league would go heavy at the running back spot. And I thought to myself, look, you got a long way to go. 14 teams, you got the 2nd pick. You got a long way to go here. Take Bijan Robinson, get the running back, and we'll worry about the wide receivers. I'm trying to play ADP. I'm trying to figure out how this is going to go. I'm looking at the draft and saying, all right, Kyren Williams or Breece Hall is going to fall to me in the 2nd round. Pretty sure. If that doesn't happen and I have to go Kenneth Walker, okay. Well, as you can see there, that's how it went. I went Justin Jefferson in the 1st round, and Kenneth Walker fell to me at that second to last pick of the 2nd round. Breece Hall went the pick right before me, and Kyren Williams went a little bit before me. This draft, and these people in this draft, I was right about them loving running backs. This draft, and I was jokingly saying it with guys in chat, this was a 2003 draft. Like, the industry as a whole, fantasy players as a whole, ADP as a whole, expert advice as a whole, this draft didn't go according to any of that, which is interesting because everyone in this draft are experts. So I don't know. Normally we have 3 or 4 running backs in the 1st round, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the 1st round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the 2nd round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 15 of the first 28 picks were running backs. No one. So this draft went old school 2003. We had one team, Colton, Wolfman, and Stern, who went running back, running back, running back. 3 straight running backs, which Glenn, Rick, and Stacy win a ton of leagues. They've got a plan, the smart system, the whole thing. But that style of drafting is really 2003. Now, maybe it works out for them, and maybe maybe they win the league. I mean, I'm not, again, they know what they're doing. They probably have more championships than anyone in the industry, to be honest. Is that a way you build a team in 2025? It's not the way I build a team. It's not the way most people would build a team. But looking at this room, I mean, we had the drafted team took 2 running backs to start. The game night sports took 2 running backs to start. RT Sports had 2 of the first 3 picks for running backs. US Advanced Local had 2 of their top 3 picks for running backs. Player Props had 2 of their top 3 picks as running backs. Tim Jensen of Real Time Fantasy had 2 of the top 3 picks as running backs. Your league is not going to draft like this. It's not. ADP says no one drafts like this, but it's how the draft went. So I took Jefferson. I had to go Walker, which was, thank goodness, still there, because I would not have wanted to go James Cook or Juba Hubbard as my running back 1. So I took Walker, and as you can see there, I went with Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson signed a big money contract. He's going to get massive volume. He'll probably get 140 plus targets again for the Jets. He's a perfect wide receiver 2 behind Justin Jefferson. Love that. So then we come to the 4th round, and Lamar Jackson goes, Jalen Hurts goes, Josh Allen goes, and I'm thinking, oh, shoot. I'm going to have to hopefully grab Joe Burrow in the 4th or 5th round. Because, again, we've been talking a lot about, elite level quarterbacks, over at fantasyguru.com this year as a plan. Joe Burrow, though, as good as he is, as high as his floor is, does not have the ceiling of the other guys because he doesn't run. So ideally, if you're going to go quarterback early, you get one of the 4, Jackson, Allen, Hurts, or Daniels. So Josh Allen goes with the 3rd pick of the 4th round, and I'm thinking, oh, I got 10 picks, so I'm up again. There's no chance Daniels makes it. There's no chance. What happened? Daniels made it to me in the 4th round. So that's great. So if you had told me walking into this draft that I'm going to have Jefferson, Walker, Wilson, Daniels, I'm going to say happy with that. I really like that. Comfortable with that. Let's go. Now, if there was a mistake I made, it was the next pick. Now, I don't think it was a mistake because, again, I don't regret making the pick, and I have full confidence in Travis Kelce. But looking at how the room played out, I might have miscalculated. Here's what I mean. So I go wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end. I normally say to you all, I don't like going elite quarterback, running, and tight end. I don't think taking the tight ends in the 5th round is an elite. I'm talking more about the Bowers McBride move that you have to make. At the same time, this isn't ideal. Why did I do it? Because I'm thinking to myself, let's look at this board. I got the 2nd pick. It's 14 teams, which is different than a 10-team draft, right? Everyone's blown through the running backs. So I don't think they're going to keep blowing through the running backs. They're going to start looking at quarterbacks, which I just took, so I'm fine there. They're going to start looking at quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends. So let's take Travis Kelce. Let's get our 80 catches and 5 touchdowns, and just don't worry about it, right? Because again, when you take that early quarterback, as I did with Jaden Daniels, I missed out on that wide receiver 3 right there, right? So in essence, Kelce becomes my wide receiver 3. Give me an advantage at the tight end position over other people. So that's why I did it. But the way the draft goes, and remember, you can go to rtsports.com/FSGA-champions. I have a whole, you can't see it, so it doesn't. For those of you looking on the screen, there's the board. You go there. Again, click the link below. That'll help get you there to the page to see what we're talking about the entire draft. So I go Daniels, and then what happens? I should have gone Tony Pollard, right? Because what I could have done is I could have gone Tony Pollard in the 5th round, and then I could have taken Mark Andrews in the 6th round. Could have totally done that. And the build probably would have been a little bit better. We'll talk a little bit more about my running backs, how it played out. Not that this running, and interestingly enough, my running back grouping is probably the way a lot of you are going to build your running back grouping. So maybe, we're all in this together. So anyway, I could have passed Kelce. I could have gone Tony Pollard and then taken Andrews next time out. Maybe a little bit better build. So the draft goes and gets back to me again, and here we are in the 6th round, and I'm taking Stephon Diggs, who as a wide receiver 3 in a 14-team league is totally fine. Is he going to be ready for week 1 coming back from the knee injury? Jeff Mans has talked about him a lot. Remember, the Elite Sports Show is Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 2 to 5. I'm with him every Wednesday. Stephon Diggs is he's going to catch 5 passes a week in this offense, right? The question really is how many games is he going to play? But he is going to be the leader for the Patriots, absolutely no question. And as a wide receiver 3, again, even if you think our rankings are too bullish on Diggs over at FantasyGuru.com. I don't know many people that aren't going to say he's not a top 40 receiver, right? And if we're starting 3 wide receivers in a 14-team league, that's 42. So he's perfectly fine there. So I'm sitting there, and I've got my wide receivers, my top 3 wide receivers. I got my quarterback, I got my tight end, but I only got 1 running back through 6 rounds, and that's not normal for me. Normal for me would have been to take Tony Pollard, as we talked about. Okay. So now what do? Now I got to go and make a move. And in round 7, you can see there on the screen, I took Jaden Blue. Big fan of Jeff Mans talked about this over and over again. The style of running, the system they used in college for Blue is what they run with the Cowboys. He's clearly the most explosive option over Sanders and Javonte Williams. He's going to lead the backfield this year for the Cowboys. None of us really doubt that. The question is, when does Blue take over? Is it week 1? Is it week 12? We don't know. But I feel very confident that Jaden Blue will be the best running back this season for the Cowboys. And that's a position shared by the folks over at FG. I had a debate in my head, though. Do I go Javonte Williams, whose ADP is like 50 spots ahead of Jaden Blue? Do I go Javonte Williams and then take Jaden Blue in the next round? Given that I only had 1 running back in Kenneth Walker, I thought I'm just going to take the guy I want, I like, who I believe in more, and I will hope that Javonte Williams falls to me to the next round. If Javonte Williams doesn't fall to me in the next round, I'll take Zach Charbonnet to back up Kenneth Walker. I would have taken Zach Charbonnet there instead of Jaden Blue if I hadn't taken the tight end. But because I took the tight end, I can't have my second running back be a guy I can't start. So I had to go the other route, which is take the running back from the Cowboys. In this league, people, as in most of your leagues, I would assume, for the life of me, I can't understand this, they don't handcuff people. Don't handcuff people. You buy car insurance. You buy life insurance. You buy home insurance. You buy earthquake insurance. You buy flood insurance. You buy mainline get the street insurance. You insure everything in your life. But no one insures the running backs in fantasy football. Nobody does it. So instead of picking your running back, what do people do? It's what they do in your leagues. It's what everyone does everywhere. They just randomly take guys. So what happens? Javonte Williams gets drafted before my next pick. What happens? Zach Charbonnet gets drafted before my next pick. I mean, you know, Colton Wolfman and Stern, who took Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving, and DeAndre Swift. Again, their whole team is predicated on those 3 running backs to start. They didn't back up any of those running backs. So what do I have to do? I have to do what all of you likely do and what I don't want to do, which I wouldn't recommend is the best way to do it, but it was the only way to do it because, again, Javonte Williams and Zach Charbonnet were taken in that 8th round before I could grab them. Charbonnet going 3 picks before me, by the way. So what do? I go Trey Benson in the 8th round. I go Ray Davis in the 9th round. I love Benson and Davis. I've been getting him everywhere. I got Davis in my dynasty league. You know, Trey Benson showed very well last year. He's got James Conner ahead of him, who's an aging player. We've got Ray Davis, who obviously is behind James Cook and the contract dispute and all. So I love Benson and Davis, especially in a 14-team league. Those were the kind of guys that with one injury emerged as top 20 running backs and were golden, right? So I mean, Kenneth Walker, Jaden Blue, Trey Benson, Ray Davis, I really like that group. Would I like to have my handcuff? Yeah, I would. Would it have been better if I had Tony Pollard? Yeah, okay. I still really like that group. Is it perfect? No, but again, I think it's going to be a really good and fun thing to do. Play a season out the way that most of you draft. So here we go. So in the 10th round, we go Malik Washington. I am not a Tyreek Hill fan yet. We've talked about this a lot. No idea what's going to happen with Tyreek Hill this year. Is he going to play 17 games, 15 games, 13 games? Is he going to be Antonio Brown and walk off in the middle of the season? No one knows. If Tyreek Hill goes down, it's Malik Washington to the moon. Okay, so grab him next. Then we're sitting there in the 11th round. It's like, look, I got to keep building depth at the running back spot because, again, I only really have one surefire starter in week 1. I think Blue will be their number 2, I think. But so we go Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier, you know, kind of a nobody. And again, you took Bijan Robinson. I don't know why we don't draft his backup in Tyler Algier. We'll give the drafters team credit. They took Breece Hall and grabbed Braylon Allen, so at least they handcuffed one of their first 2 picks. Good work there. I was actually debating Algier or Allen in my head. That was and Jalen Wright. And those were actually the 3 running backs that went in a row. I would have taken Jalen Wright, to be honest, in case Achane goes down, but I had just drafted Malik Washington. It's like, I don't want to have that much investment in backups with the Dolphins. So went Tyler Algier, who, if Bijan were to go down, he's getting 17 carries a week. We know that, right? Well, maybe it's 15 carries and 3 catches. He'll be heavily involved as the lead running back. So good depth there. Then in rounds 12 and 13, went back to the wide receiver spot, Roman Wilson and Josh Palmer. Then in round 14, I was really hoping to get Jaquez Hunter. He went to the Colton, Wolf, and Stern team, who, again, took Hunter instead of taking Roschon Johnson to back up their DeAndre Swift, but okay. So I ended up with Will Shipley. Again, you have Saquon Barkley. The Saquon Barkley team took my Zach Charbonnet. Remember, we have Walker. Didn't take Will Shipley to back up Saquon Barkley. It was nothing. I did it on Spider or anything like that. I'm just looking at the board in the 14th round. I wanted Jaquez Hunter or Roschon Johnson. They were the 2 running backs that went ahead of me, so Will Shipley was next man up. So we'll see with Will Shipley. And then Seattle and Jake Elliott as my final 2 selections there. So there's the team. That's how it went. And we'll go to the next page and we'll look at, that's basically my starting lineup here in week 1, basically. Jay Daniels with Kenneth Walker, Jaden Blue, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Ray Davis, Seattle, and Jake Elliott. So remember, click on the link below, go to the website, go to the internet, and go to the internet. I'm having problems talking today. rtsports.com/FSGA-champions listed in the description below. You can look at the entire board. That's how my team came together. Was it perfect? No. The first 4 rounds I thought were stellar. Again, we talked about the 5th round pivot point here, what would have happened if I'd gone in a different direction. Ultimately, though, for only taking 1 running back in the first 6 rounds in a league that's pretty deep with 14 teams, Kenneth Walker, Jaden Blue, Trey Benson, Ray Davis, Tyler Algier, Will Shipley. We're long on hope. An injury or 2 happens. And this is, again, why a lot of people draft this way. Anchor running back is kind of what people call it, right? You get that 1 guy early and then you wait and then you build. Wasn't the plan. Turned out that way. Given the way it turned out, I love Blue, Benson, Davis in rounds 7 to 9. I think that was a power move. We'll see if it turns out by the time the season ends here. Let's see here. Looking at, we got a bunch of comments here. All right, let's go back, scroll up here. Okay, Kyle said, personally, I would have went Bijan at 2 and then wide receiver for the 2nd, 3rd. Yes, if you had done that, hypothetically, and again, Kyle, I think that's totally fair to have done. If I had gone Bijan, here's the thing, I probably would have gone Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison. That would have been, that's banging group. So it's, again, you never know how a draft's going to play out. Picking 2 out of 14 teams is a long way. You got to be aggressive. You got to be proactive. Absolutely could have gone that direction. Yeah, you could have never known that many running backs go off the board. Wow, according to Kyle. Yeah, I knew there were going to be running backs off the board, but 15 of 28 picks is insane. I mean, what? Let me look this up. The NFFC's ADP. I should have done this before the show. And if I had been somebody that was paying attention, maybe I would. But running back, 15 running backs. The 15th running back has got an 80. So 15 of 28 picks were running backs in this draft. The 15th running back off the board, according to NFFC's ADP, is Chuba Hubbard. He's at pick 47. This draft was insane. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Angela says, I take Bijan at wide receiver to rely on the quarterback. Without the quarterback, his value drops. Ask Tyreek. Not really sure what that means, Angelo. Okay. Bijan at PPR just like a monster, says Kyle. Well, again, yeah, and I said it myself. That was the debate in my head between these 2 guys. Oh, and then Angela says I'm a biased Falcons fan. Well, there you go, Angela. You just outed yourself. Slim Shady says, would you move Daniels up in QB rankings in a league that counts 0.25 per rush? No, and here's why. I would have Daniels, who I took in this draft, as the 4th quarterback off the board behind Allen, Lamar, and Hurts. Jeez. Allen, Lamar, Hurts, Daniels. He doesn't move up because all those guys run. And maybe he averages a carry or two more than those guys per game, one or two of them maybe, right? But that's half a point. So no, I would leave Daniels as the fourth quarterback off the board because all the quarterbacks ahead of him run. That's why you want to, if in theory, you want to get one of those four guys before it starts going to the, Prescotts and Burrows and Mahomes of the world, because those guys don't run as much as the other guys. Kyle says, I love Benson, Blue, and Davis. Yeah, me too. I liked how that went down. I'm drafting Thielen until 2045, said Angela. He might still be playing then. You never know. You never know. Let's see here. Okay, so nice comments there, everybody. And again, if you're watching the show live, you can always leave comments on Twitter X at Fantasy Guru site, Facebook.com/FantasyGuruHQ, or on YouTube.com/@ElitePlusNetwork. In any of those three places, you can leave comments as we've gone through the show here, and we'll address them throughout the show. You can also go to FantasyGuru.com, click the Elite Plus tab at the top of the page, find this show as well as the others on the Elite Plus Network that you can have access to, and you can always type in Fantasy Sports Daily to your podcast network. Tomorrow on the show, Thursday, Tyler Beaker will join me, and we'll go back to our normal half baseball, half football talk. We'll have to figure something out to talk about with baseball. We'll figure something out. There's no game action tomorrow. Games pick up again on Friday. On Friday here on the show, we'll visit again with Russell Clay as well. So we'll get back to normal the next couple of days. Today I'm with Jeff Mans here in a couple hours. Remember, the show is 2 to 5 Eastern, Monday through Friday now on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. It's moved up an hour earlier. I'm with Jeff every Wednesday. Go to FantasyGuru.com, look for that baseball article tomorrow, as well as the three from the last 3 days that we highlighted here on the show. My PPR running back myth article just dropped, so check that out at FantasyGuru.com. I'm wrapping up a couple of articles. I'm writing a couple. Justin Fenton's writing a couple for auction leagues. That'll be available next week, so look for that. We'll have an article. I'm doing pre-auction strategy and players to fade in an auction. Justin's doing in-auction strategies and players to target in an auction. So we'll have 4 articles there, a little auction mini guide, like we have a best ball mini guide, like we have a rookie mini guide, et cetera, over at fantasyguru.com. Remember, click that subscribe piece at the top right corner of the page. We have IDP rankings, including an article today that came out by Phil Backer talking about individual defensive players, dynasty rankings, PPR rankings, rookie rankings, best ball rankings. I'm leaving rankings out. PPR, half PPR, non-PPR, all kinds of rankings over at fantasyguru.com. So check it out now. The draft books should be dropping soon too. Russell, Tyler, and Armando will each be writing a draft book, just like we have for baseball. There'll be 3 of them for football with different scoring formats. So everyone's hopefully looking at that in the near future over at FG. Click that subscribe tab in the top right corner. Get signed up with us over there at FG. Send a note, support at fantasyguru.com. Support at fantasyguru.com. You might be able to get a discount. Maybe. You can always ask, especially if you bundle something up. You might even be able to get 50% off our all-in VIP Platinum package, which is every sport, everything we do, all year round. Send a note, support at fantasyguru.com. Say, hey, Ted, is there still a discount on that? We have been offering a 50% discount on everything we do. So send a note, support at fantasyguru.com, and say, Ted, really like to get involved with this all-in VIP Platinum package. Can you do something for me? So thanks for listening today. Appreciate you. I'm going to go and get this stuff all posted up, finish up that article on auctions, do the show with Jeff Mans. I'm actually recording a podcast, one of the 20 podcasts for their podcast series for the draft guide over at fantasyguru.com. I'm recording that later today. So 5 hours of talking for me today as well. Hopefully I'll do better the next 4 hours from this first hour. But I appreciate everybody joining me today. We'll be back again tomorrow here at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Fantasy Sports Daily. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Sign up with us over at fantasyguru.com and become part of the largest active community in fantasy sports. I'm Ray Flowers. This has been Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by fantasyguru.com.